Welcome inside the Iroquois Park Sports Centre in Whitby, Ontario for the new season of 2024 Major Series Lacrosse on RogersTV. We start tonight with the Brooklin Lacrosse Club taking on the Owen Sound North Stars. Welcome in. Third season for us here, Andrew. Jack Moore, Andrew Osmond along with you in the booth. New season in the league. Two new teams in the league, a new look this year for Major Series Lacrosse.
Yeah, a few changes across the Major Series Lacrosse this season that were decided in the offseason. We'll talk about some changes to the Brooklin Lacrosse Club as well, behind the bench and in the staffing of the team. But in the season, though, as we take a look, it's now a 7-team league. Oakville and Owen Sound are back for this 2024 season. It's now a 12-game regular season. Last season was 16 games. Each team will play each other once. One home game and one away game against either team. And the regular season champions this season will earn a first-round bye, and come round one, when they seed from second down to 7 through the standings, round one will be a best-of-5 series, and then the semifinals and finals will be a best-of-7. So looking forward to bringing you some MSL lacrosse this season out of Brooklyn, and we got a lot to look forward to. At least 6 home games and then some playoffs to come here from Whitby.
Everybody plays each other twice, a home game and a road game for each team in the league this year. So a 12-game regular season. So this will be the only time that Brooklyn and Owen Sound will play each other in Whitby. These two teams will meet again on Saturday. That will go at the Bayshore in Owen Sound. But these two teams will have their chance to get this out of the way early on. Brooklyn, of course, bowing out last season in the semifinals against the Peterborough Lakers, who would go on to lose in 4 games in the championship series to the eventual Man Cup champion Six Nations Chiefs. Both those teams look strong again this year, but there's a lot of excitement again about this Brooklyn Lacrosse Club team this year.
Yeah, a lot of excitement. We've seen some new faces return or come to this lineup, some returning faces making their appearance back here in Brooklyn. We were talking to new GM Gavin Proud, a former assistant coach with the team just last year. He's saying we got a lot of the mix of the guys. We're starting to get a bit of that core group, those veteran guys, and as he was saying to us pregame today, they're not the guys that just have played for a number of years. They're the guys that are doing well at the NLL level. So bringing that experience and that veteran leadership to this team, as well as some new guys that they hope to kind of build more of a core moving forward starting this season. So we're excited to see kind of what Brooklyn has this year, and this is our first look at them here tonight.
Well, and we've seen them the last 2 years where they've really established themselves as that next tier below Peterborough and Six Nations, and trying to jump into that next level of competition with new teams added into the league. But the big thing that Gavin Prout mentioned to us pregame, he wants this to be a destination for his players and players around Major Series Lacrosse. They want people who played here, grew up here, played junior lacrosse here, to come and play summer pro lacrosse for this team and this community, and give themselves a chance to go on a run and return to some championship glory days here in Whitby at the Iroquois Park Sports Centre, as we are getting you ready for the first home game of the 2024 Major Series Lacrosse season. We'll step away for the national anthem before we meet our starting goaltenders. National anthem over at Iroquois Park Sports Centre. We're getting you ready for the start of the second game of the 2024 Major Series Lacrosse season. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, starting with Owen Sound here, Andrew.
Yeah, and Owen Sound, it's going to be Caleb Martin getting the start. He started in Game 1 of this MSL season against the defending Man Cup champions, the Six Nations Chiefs, and they unfortunately lost that one. Owen Sound did 15-4. in that first opening game of this season, but it's going to be Caleb Martin getting the nod once again here in back-to-back games, allowing 15 goals in that first appearance, and he'll look to better that here against the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club.
And over on the Brooklyn side, they're going to go with Zach Higgins between the pipes, and he'll get his first action of the season. So these two teams ready to go here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. Another exciting season of Major Series Lacrosse that we are excited to bring to you on RogersTV Durham. Brooklyn looking to take that step up. We mentioned they lost in the semifinal. Owen Sound back in the league, one of two teams returning to Major Series Lacrosse this year, along with the Oakville Rock.
Yep.
So that rounds out the 7-team league this season in Major Series Lacrosse. Already Brampton, Cobourg, Brooklyn, Peterborough, and Six Nations, the other teams competing for an MSL title in 2024. Ball is down at center floor, and we're ready to go. Mitch Gustafson will take the draw for Owen Sound. And Matt Hosack for Brooklyn, and it's going to be Owen Sound ball right off the open. And Tyler Halls will start it up for the North Stars. Owen Sound, like you mentioned, already playing that game against Six Nations. That was back on Victoria Day Monday. They played a road game, so 2 of their 6 road games done after tonight. We haven't even hit June. Quick shot! That gets stopped by Higgins. So Owen Sound gets a shot on their first possession of the game, but Brooklyn's goaltender up to the task, and now Brady Kiernan is up the floor with Connor as well. Kiernan works it off into the corner. Here's Tanner Cook. Flips that one off as Brooklyn trying to set up with less than 10 to shoot. Now Kiernan in front behind the back. That gets stopped. Big one in front already for Caleb Martin. So each goaltender making a good save to start this game, Andrew.
Yeah, the start is going well so far for both sides here on the floor. And Caleb Martin, getting that first stop in. Got to feel good after allowing 15 against Six Nations just a week and a half ago now.
Owen Sound moving the ball well, but unable to get a shot away. 10 to shoot, but that loose ball scooped up by Brooklyn, and they're back up the floor. Ryan Wagner quickly in transition is Keenan Cook. Stepping in, working it off, looking for the return feed. Can't find it. Here's Waters in front, and he scores. First goal of the new season for Brooklyn goes to Kyle Waters. And 1:17 into the first period, it's 1-0 Brooklyn.
And Kyle Waters kind of picking up where he left off last summer with Brooklyn, starting to really heat up offensively and be that main threat in the middle of the floor there. And that's what we just saw there as well, getting the first goal of the season for Brooklyn. Right here, taking that pass, cutting towards the net, and he picks up the loose ball and then throws that one past Caleb Martin to open up the scoring here early on their second possession of the game.
Kyle Waters played a huge part in this Brooklyn team last season, especially down the stretch and into the playoffs, and already getting on the scoreboard. We're less than 2 minutes into game number 1 of the season for Brooklyn. That shot gets stopped by Higgins in front, and away goes Brooklyn down the floor. Now here's a drive and a chance for Chakowski as he works it back up top. That shot just misses wide. Cole Watkinson with a good chance there for Brooklyn, but couldn't get it to go. And it's going to be Owen Sound ball. So the North Stars will start back up again in Brooklyn territory. Greg Elijah Brown starts it for Owen Sound. As that pass in front goes off the crossbar, stays out. And Brooklyn will work it up the floor. So another good chance for Owen Sound. That time they rang iron. Zach Higgins thanking his crossbar already in this one. Using the post as his best friend as Kyle Waters sets his screen, and Brooklyn moving the ball around with under 15 to shoot. Kiernan steps in. That one just misses wide. Waters in front. Can't find the loose ball, and that one just missed by Austin Shanks and will be scooped up by Owen Sound. Niall Sear works that one off for Jordan Cascanet. Owen Sound working it around the floor. Fresh off the bench is Elijah Brown. Now it's worked off to the boards as Jake McNabb steps in. His shot goes just wide. It gets deflected and will bounce into the Brooklyn bench. And it will stay Owen Sound ball, and they'll have a fresh shot clock. Jackson Reed starting it up again for Owen Sound. As Sears steps down, drops it for Buck. Works in, shoots over the top, and that goes off the back of the Brooklyn net. Scooped up by Justin Robinson, and away goes Brooklyn. Robinson, an NLL champion with Buffalo just a few weeks back. Luke Keenan works it into the corner, and now it's back up top for Dawson Theed. Into the far corner is Brooklyn, already with that 1-0 lead with the goal just over a minute in. Kiernan works this one off for Theed. Doesn't pull the trigger, goes cross floor. That ball bounces, and late in the shot clock, they do get a shot away. No, they'll say it's a shot clock violation, but Owen Sound had possession. Jake Gasparetti's back up the floor. Gasparetti in transition will go all the way to the end boards and get checked into the wall by Chakowski. As that ball comes free and picked up by Brooklyn again. Kyle Osborne drops this one off for Waters. Has the lone goal in the game. Dishes it off to the corner for Tanner Cook. 15 to shoot for Brooklyn. Waters trying to muscle his way in. He gets dumped down to the floor. Loose ball. Picked up by Owen Sound, and they have numbers in transition. A chance here for Owen Sound as that shot goes in. Tyler Halls, and Owen Sound ties us at 1. 4:07 into the first period.
Well, Owen Sound catching Brooklyn on a bit of a slow change in transition there defensively, leading to that 2-on-1. And it was Tyler Halls, as we see here, running up, faking the pass, using that as a bit of a something for Higgins to think about, and took the shot and made no mistake there to tie this game up at 1 here. Then the first 5 or 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Your math is better than mine, Jack. So
8 seconds is close.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
It's good. There's no bug on there, so nobody can call me out.
We're not math majors.
That's why we do this.
Owen Sound ties us at 1. Halls gets his first of the season. He went pointless in the 15-4 loss against Six Nations. Owen Sound did have a 3-1 lead in that game against the Six Nations Chiefs before the Stotzes took over. As Buck shoots, that gets stopped by Higgins. Owen Sound looking for more as Robinson scoops up the loose ball for Brooklyn. And we'll flip that off into the far corner for Watkinson. So Kiernan will work it back up the floor with Austin Shanks, and Brooklyn looking for a response after Owen Sound ties the game at 1. Pass in front will get scooped up by Martin. And Owen Sound will go in transition back to the offensive end of the floor. Almost 5 minutes gone in this first period. 1-1, Owen Sound and Brooklyn. Second game of the regular season for Owen Sound. First for Brooklyn as that shot goes just wide. Rebound popped up and picked up, kept in the offensive zone by Brody Cascanet. And that loose ball will just be flipped into the far corner in the Brooklyn end. And they'll just wait for the shot clock violation. They call for the reset, so it's Brooklyn ball going back the other way. Waters into the corner for Wesley. Sean Wesley works it off, and Tanner Cook picks up. Cook, centering pass for Waters, just missed his stick. And Wesley picks up in the far corner. 8 to shoot here for Brooklyn. Pass in front, backhand shot goes wide. Waters on the far board, sharp angle. Stopped by Martin, and he'll cover up and get a Owen Sound ball going back the other way. That errant pass almost got picked off by Brooklyn, but Tyler Halls will stay with it for Owen Sound. Halls flips that one off to the far boards. Buck in front of the net. Tanner Buck being checked, gets a screen. His team has 7 to shoot. Now cross floor passing as a penalty coming up here to Brooklyn. And Owen Sound won't get a shot away, but they will get the power play as a slashing call going against the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Justin Robinson off to the penalty box. So first power play of the game goes to Owen Sound.
And a chance here for them to make it a 1-goal lead for Owen Sound after going down 1-0 early on here in the first period. They battled back with that 1 goal to tie it up, and here's a chance now. And it's our first look to see their power play.
Tanner Buckles set up top for Owen Sound on the power play as his shot shouldered away by Higgins. Rebound pops into the crease, and the loose ball goes off to the end boards. Owen Sound picks up again. They get a shot clock reset 15 seconds into the power play. Tanner Buck works it off for Elijah Brown. Now a pass gets fired immediately, and Higgins picks up, and now a high sticking call coming up against Brooklyn, and Ryan Wagner goes to the box. So for 93 seconds, Owen Sound on a 5-on-3.
A good chance here to do some damage. We'll have the 30 seconds of a shot clock here, and we'll have a lot of time left, over at least a minute. If they don't prove successful in the first 30 seconds, they'll have another minute after that of a 5-on-3.
There's some rest for a few players on that top power play unit. Gasparetti will just stay out at center, so it's a 4-on-3 down low, and a chance for Owen Sound as that shot got through but missed on the far post. Good chance for Jake McNabb as Buck keeps it in the offensive zone. His over-the-top shot gets stopped by Higgins, and Brooklyn will get the ball back as it got lost in Higgins' equipment, but he'll be able to reset and get a chance to kill off some time in this Owen Sound 5-on-3. Austin Shanks fires it down the floor. A pass in front of the net just missed Dawson Feed, and Owen Sound will recalculate back in their own zone. 55 seconds to go, and 5-on-3 here in this 1-1 game. We're 7 minutes 30 seconds gone in period number 1. McNabb off to Buck, steps in, cross floor passing, good stop by Higgins. Came to the near post and got a piece of it, and Brooklyn goes away in transition. Dylan Robinson this time as Brooklyn steps over center floor, and Matt Hosack will hold on to it and try and kill off as much time as possible. He'll flip it in deep for Theed, just missed again. But Theed found it in the near corner, got knocked out of his stick, and Owen Sound will bring it back up the floor. 15 seconds to go in 5-on-3. 40 seconds to go in that Ryan Wagner penalty. Now McNabb shoots, that gets stopped by Higgins, and away goes Brooklyn in transition. Brooklyn almost done with the first penalty. Justin Robinson back on the floor. 25 seconds to go in 5-on-4, and 15 to shoot here for Brooklyn as they look to kill off as much time as possible. And they have a chance in front of the net as Kiernan looking for that top far corner. He got stopped by Martin. A good quick passing play, and Brooklyn couldn't convert. Owen Sound brings it back up the floor, and they'll set up again at the offensive end. Jackson Webster. We're back to 5-on-5, so 0 for 2 on the power play to start the game for Owen Sound as this ball lost back into the North Star zone, and away goes Brooklyn with speed. Osborne steps in, stopped by Martin, and the rebound picked up by Owen Sound. Another good chance. They had a good look shorthanded from Kiernan, and then immediately after the penalty kill, Kyle Osborne gets turned away on the breakaway. Now here's a chance up top as that gets stopped by Higgins. Dante Koulis with a good shot from long range for Owen Sound. Watkinson, he'll head off the floor, and Brooklyn will set up again in offensive territory. Pass in front of the net goes off to the near boards. Here's Brady Kiernan. Kiernan tries to shoot through traffic. He just missed the near post, and this is going to be over and back against Brooklyn, so Owen Sound will take over in offensive territory. 9 minutes, 44 seconds gone in period 1. Kaskanen sets up top. McNabb works this one off, and Webster steps in, shoots. That goes wide off the near boards, and Owen Sound can't keep it in the offensive end, over and back, so Brooklyn will take over possession in the offensive zone. Mike Byrne quickly works it off. Shanks shoots, and that just misses the near post. Away goes Owen Sound in transition. Gasparetti over center floor being watched by Byrne. Drops this one back, and Jackson Reed will set up on the far boards. Cross floor passing, and stepping into the middle was Koulis. Couldn't get a shot away. Gets it to Buck, gets a screen. Good job by Wagner staying in front of him. Now Buck from the far boards late in the shot clock got one away, and Koulis will just flip it in deep as Brooklyn did a good job defensively there on Owen Sound.
Yeah, I was going to say defense right now for Brooklyn doing real well, keeping Owen Sound out of the perimeter and forcing their shots, coming in from way out and not really getting in tight. Doing a good job preventing those cross floor passes.
Kyle Waters played it off the near boards, and a bouncing free ball will be scooped up again by Brooklyn as Brady Kiernan works it off. That shot gets shouldered away by Caleb Martin. He's had some tough saves in the early going of this first period. This one flipped back up top. Fresh shot clock here and a penalty coming up to Owen Sound. So Brooklyn's going to go to their first power play of the game. But first they have possession here. Here's Theed. Dawson Theed steps in, shoots, stopped by Martin. Rebound in front. Theed gets it again. Dawson Theed back up top. Working it with Wesley. Now it's Kiernan. Back to Wesley. Steps in, shoots, he scores! It got through. Martin got a piece, but Sean Wesley able to rip it home and make it 2-1 Brooklyn.
Well, Brooklyn was able to get 3 rebounds there to get fresh shot clock. So those defenders for Owen Sound, you can see right there, hand on the hip, tired defenders for Owen Sound North Stars. Just had them a little bit slow here, covering it at the top of the floor as we see the shot come in from well out. Faking the pass, and yeah, no defender really on Sean Wesley to challenge him right in front. A clean shot on Caleb Martin. That one beats him, as you said. Caleb Martin's made a number of great saves just in that one possession, but earlier on a couple breaks from Kiernan and Liam Osborne. That time, though, a clean shot's able to beat him one-on-one.
So Brooklyn gets one back, and they'll get possession off the face-off. 8:25 to go in period number 1. And a 2-1 Brooklyn lead after Sean Wesley gets his first of the season. Kyle Waters with a moving screen there, throwing his muscle around, and now Owen Sound will go back the other way. Noah Millsap in transition. He had an assist on the Tyler Hall's goal. He'll go off on the transition as Owen Sound sets up offensively. McNabb gets his screen, space in front, but being watched by Robinson. Now pass to the far side. That shot stopped by Higgins. Rebound pops out in front, and away goes Brooklyn. Justin Robinson into the offensive zone, 2-on-1, and a chance for Brooklyn as that shot goes just wide. Bounces right in front of the Owen Sound bench. It was about 3 feet from hitting you, Andrew, as it came over the boards on the near side. It's Owen Sound ball.
Well, we know I got the hands in the stands. I'm one to known to catch a ball going into the stands, so I'm on red alert. Don't worry.
You caught one pregame
Yeah.
that was really impressive. Nobody else saw it.
Well, our producer John Green almost got smacked in the back of the head so he dodged one there.
Owen Sound with a chance in front. Higgins gets up to get the shoulder on it. Another big stop from the Brooklyn goaltender. Quick transition. Dylan Robinson to Mike Byrne, and his shot gets whistled wide as his stick got knocked out of his hands. And Owen Sound will take over back in their own zone and go away in transition. Jackson Webster slowing things down is Buck fresh off the bench. Owen Sound's captain works it back off to Webster, who steps up top. Now it's Jackson Reed. Reed worked it off, and that bouncing pass went off the end boards, and Zach Higgins will work it back up the floor. Justin Robinson plays it to Connor Kiernan. And Kiernan steps into the middle of the floor. Now works it off to the wing. Sean Wesley works it down low. Kiernan up top. Shanks shoots. That gets stopped by Martin. And the rebound corralled by Owen Sound as they go back the other way. Tyler Hall is the lone goal scorer for the North Stars. Halls flips that one back. It goes off the boards, and they'll stay. No, they won't. That's over and back. Jake McNabb just a foot the other way, and Shanks with a quick chance in front. That got stopped. Wesley picks up. Knocked out for a second. His shot goes wide. Bounces back to center floor, and that'll be over and back against Brooklyn. So Owen Sound ball with 5:57 to go in period 1.
Yeah, Owen Sound getting away with one there. Shanks all alone in front, and maybe didn't know how much time he had. He wasn't tight on the net, but he could have made a couple more moves instead of just throwing it on net. And then eventually Brooklyn losing possession there on the over and back. But definitely had more time Shanks did than I think he anticipated.
Koulis steps in, shoots just wide, looking for that top far corner. Is Buck trying to pull that one away from multiple defenders, but Mike Byrne going the other way. He's got some speed, and Dylan Robinson in front of the net. Pass goes back up top, and Kyle Waters will reset for Brooklyn on the far boards with 15 to shoot. Tanner Cook worked it off to Kiernan. Pass in front for Connor Kiernan, and that one just stayed out. Martin got a piece. It bounced behind him and then made a backspin off the goal line. So a good chance for Brooklyn negated as Owen Sound flips this one into the protective meshing and out of play. 2-1 game with 5 minutes to go in period number 1. First home game of the regular season for Brooklyn. Only time we'll see Owen Sound in this building this season. And these two teams play again on Saturday, and that'll be it for their dances in 2024 until the playoffs if they meet. Now it's Cook stepping into the middle. His shot turned away by Martin. Ball off the far boards, and away goes Owen Sound in transition. Wyatt Barfoot drops this one back. McNabb shoots. That gets stopped. And then Brooklyn picks up the rebound as Owen Sound wanted a too-many-men call. Feed, quick pass, and they score. In transition, Austin Shanks. 3-1 Brooklyn.
And on this play, you got to give credit to the defense for Brooklyn on that one there. Spotting that the transition was in game and the ball was about to go up the floor, actually telling Deed to stay on the floor and don't complete his change. I don't know if you'll see it on the left side of your screen there. That's a bit after the play, but told Deed, don't come off the floor, go back up. And then that led to that 2-on-1 where Austin Shanks has another chance on that far side, and this time beats Caleb Martin for that third goal for Brooklyn. 3-1 lead here, getting to the late end of the first period.
So Brooklyn capitalizes. Owen Sound wanted a too-many-men call. They didn't get it. And Brooklyn, after they had the game knotted up at 1, gets back-to-back goals and have a 2-goal lead. As Martin sends this one down the floor and a chance in transition for Owen Sound, but Niles Sear couldn't find the loose ball, and Brooklyn will head back up the floor with Tanner Cook. Luke Keenan. Off to Brady Kiernan. Now back up top, here's Sean Wesley. Wesley, pass in front. Cook picks up, behind the back pass, goes for Shanks in the far corner. 6 seconds to shoot for Brooklyn. Shanks behind the back, threw it off the end boards. And Owen Sound picks up the loose ball. Tyler Holes will bring it up the floor for the North Stars. Tanner Buck works it into the corner as Owen Sound looking for something offensively. Buck flips it off again. This time it's Jackson Reed. Now it's Koulis. Off the far corner boards, Reed sends one through the crease, just missed Higgins, and Owen Sound keeps it in the offensive zone. 2:45 to go in period 1 as that shot goes off the Brooklyn defender Matt Hosack and out of play. And it's going to be Brooklyn ball, but that was a heavy shot that got blocked and sent into the far corner.
Might be game 1 for Brooklyn, but there's already going to be some bruises after this one.
Dawson Theed had the primary assist on the third goal. Now another pass in front. That time it got stopped by Martin. Tanner Cook had stepped in the crease anyhow, but Martin making a big save for Owen Sound. 10th save of this first period on 13 Brooklyn shots for Caleb Martin. Koulis works it off for McNabb. Now a cross-floor pass gets taken away by Byrne, and away he goes in transition with Robinson. Now that one gets stripped out of his cradle by Jackson Webster, and Byrne lost his stick again in the offensive end of the floor, trying to soccer kick that one off for Justin Robinson. As a battle ensues, and we'll get Owen Sound ball as Robinson took his man down to the floor. So Jackson Webster, Tanner Buck, the offensive end. That long shot gets stopped by Higgins, and he'll send it up the floor for Brooklyn with 100 seconds to go in period number 1. A 3-1 Brooklyn lead in their home opener for 2024. Owen Sound already into the season with an 0-1 record after playing 9 days ago, as that shot just missed the top far corner from Dawson Theed, and Owen Sound will take over at the offensive end of the floor. First game of the season for Major Series Lacrosse went 9 days ago. This is game number 2 here this year. And then, like we said, these two teams going again on Saturday. So it's going to start hot and heavy as Brooklyn goes in transition. A chance up the floor. Brooklyn off the post. And that went in after the fact, but Kyle Osborne rang iron and then kicked it in, so that one won't count. But another good chance in transition. Owen Sound was a little late reacting to the call from the referees. As Buck's shot got through, but Higgins able to reach back and pull it off the line.
Got lucky with that spin on the ball to not drift it back into the net behind him.
Chance back up the floor for Brooklyn with 45 seconds to go in period 1. Connor Kiernan, long range, that bounce shot just misses. Shanks keeps it in up top. Sean Wesley keeping it away from pressure with 4 to shoot. Pass in front of the net for Cook, and that gets stopped by Martin. A good kick with the left leg as it was going through his 5-hole. Final possession of period number 1 is going to go to Owen Sound as their goalie out of the net. Brooklyn trying to dial up the pressure defensively. Buck dropped on the far boards, and Brooklyn will get it back with 8 seconds to go in the period. So Kyle Osborne goes away in transition. 4-on-1 for Brooklyn. Here's Shanks off the post. Rebound, and they stepped in the crease as time expired. Another transition mishap for Owen Sound at the end of the period led to a 4-on-1 for Brooklyn as time was coming to an end in period number 1. Shanks hit the post, and then they couldn't put the rebound home ahead of the clock. They stepped in the crease as well, but Brooklyn out to a 3-1 lead through 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, hectic first period. Early scoring in that frame, and then towards the end, just back and forth. Brooklyn with a number of odd man rushes. Only need to capitalize just one on one of those, really, but towards the end there, Brooklyn really in transition, running up the floor and giving themselves a chance to really extend this lead here at the end of that period.
Gil Martin doing a good job in Owen Sound's net, but his team down 3-1 through 20 minutes of play. We'll step aside and come back with your first intermission. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse on RogersTV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
It's been a long time coming.
You don't win it to keep it, you win it to be a part of its history.
Always knew.
Always hard to see the difference between winning and losing.
How to steal.
The quest for the hardest trophy to win in sports.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on RogersTV. See your community leaders at work on RogersTV City Council coverage.
Family fun atmosphere here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center as the Brooklin Lacrosse Club out to a 3-1 lead on the Owen Sound North Stars through 20 minutes of play. Jack Moore, Andrew Osmond with you at the first intermission. Andrew, that first period, Brooklyn got out to an early goal from Kyle Waters. Owen Sound with a response, but then it feels like as that first period went on, Brooklyn shook off the jitters and they got into a flow and started to take the game over a little bit.
Yeah, it felt like after those first two goals, we kind of settled in. There was a couple of those penalties that went against Brooklyn, so we saw a power play for Owen Sound. They're unable to capitalize on both of those. And after that, Jack, as you said, kind of got to settle into the lacrosse game a little bit. You know, some rushes back and forth, some plays on transition on both sides of the floor, some solid goaltending. So kind of settled in, but then, yeah, it was Brooklyn with the rush in kind of the second half of that period that kind of ran with the floor and kind of tilted it the way for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club in that one. But, you know, it's not to say that Owen Sound didn't have their chances as well, and both goaltenders doing their job to keep it only a 3-1 game after the first period.
Shots are 15-14 in favor of Owen Sound through 20 minutes of play, but they faced a 3-1 deficit. As we take a look at the first period highlights, and really it started with the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club getting on the board in that goal from Kyle Waters.
Yeah, early on, Kyle Waters taking that pass and cutting towards it, finding the loose ball off the floor and then cutting to the net and getting it past Caleb Martin, who already at that point made a couple of solid saves. As we see another one there from Sean Wesley for Brooklyn go on in, a clean shot at that one. As this one, we're looking at the other end of the floor there for a rush, but this is where we come off the bench. You see coming off the bench is Theed there right away. He went to change and then finds it to Austin Shanks on the 2-on-1. That was on a number of odd man chances or rushes that Brooklyn had. That was the only one that really converted into a goal. So we'll see them to maybe do that a bit more and capitalize going forward. Austin Shanks, just before that on the rush before, had a chance in front and just threw it on net and didn't really know he had a chance to make a play. That time I think he knew he had a couple more seconds, faked a shot or two, and then ended up getting it behind the goaltender for the third goal of the game for Brooklyn.
Well, I talked about it. Brooklyn got that early goal about 1:17 into the first period, but then it felt like Owen Sound, who has already played a game this season, found a rhythm, but Zach Higgins making some big stops in the crease for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club after Halls made it a 1-1 game, but then Brooklyn found their groove, and Owen Sound, it felt like they started to lose the game in transition a little bit like we saw on that last goal for Austin Shanks.
Yeah, and I don't know, but obviously much about Owen Sound North Stars, but they are missing the guy from the game one that had 3 points in game one for them, Josh Rosa. He's not in the lineup tonight, so that could be part of it too, losing that offensive threat. A guy that's known to maybe lead your team and bring you that offense when you need it, that threat on the power play or what be it. So, these rosters change very quickly, week to week, to game, so you're not really playing with the same guys. So Owen Sound, yeah, they had game one, but the lines are likely a bit off. They're not the same guys they played with in the NLL or haven't really played with ever at this point, with Owen Sound not being in the MSL the past couple of seasons and just coming back for the first time, this being only their second game in a number of years. Some of these guys maybe haven't played together as much, so just kind of feeling things out. It is game two, but game one was against Six Nations, and there's only so much you can do against a team like Six Nations to really get your groove going and get to know one another and build that chemistry.
John Tavares, the head coach of Six Nations, won an NLL championship on Saturday, and he was behind the bench for Six Nations on Monday, coaching that game against the Owen Sound North Stars. So that speaks to the level of play and the quality of talent that they have in Six Nations, not only on the floor but behind the bench as well. Not to mention Owen Sound, 2 power plays in that first period. They had a 5-on-3 when it was a 1-1 game that they could not capitalize on, and that has led them to face this 3-1 deficit after 20 minutes of play because Brooklyn was able to capitalize immediately when it went back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, no, they were able to capitalize right away. And Owen Sound for the power play, I'd like to see them throw the ball around a little bit more quickly and get those shots on net. They were kind of rushing it a bit, leading to those turnovers for Brooklyn to go up the floor. Brooklyn
Lacrosse Club with a 3-1 lead through 20 minutes of play. Second period coming up after the break. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse on Rogers TV.
I'm Rob MacArthur, host and producer of Helping Durham Region. Join me as we shine a spotlight on how Durham Region residents help each other. That's Helping Durham Region right here on Rogers TV.
Hello, I'm Judy Tate, host and producer of At the Heart of Business. Join me each week as we speak with women in business about their challenges and their successes. At the Heart of Business right here on Rogers TV Durham.
time coming.
You don't win it to keep it, you win it to be a part of its history.
Always knew.
Always hard to see the difference between winning and losing.
Stanley Cup champion. The quest for the hardest trophy to win in sports.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Karim Grant. I'm the host of The Players Corner. Season 2 is coming right at you. Make sure you stay tuned. We have a lot of exciting guests right here on Rogers Durham TV. Make sure you're there.
Welcome back inside the Iroquois Park Sports Center. 3-1 Brooklyn leading the Owen Sound North Stars as Brooklyn making their way back onto the floor here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. Jack Moore, Andrew Osmond along with you. 3-1 lead for Brooklyn through 20 minutes of play. And we talked about Andrew. Brooklyn the last 2 years have really established themselves as that number 3 team in Major Series lacrosse, but trying to break into that upper echelon, that upper tier with Peterborough and Six Nations this season.
Yeah, the past couple seasons we've seen a little bit of turnover with guys from year to year, but this seems to be one of those years, like Gavin Prout was saying, where there's a decent number of returning guys that plan on playing and staying for the majority of this MSL season this year. The change really is behind the bench for Brooklyn for the most part. A wholesale change. The only kind of name, coaching or GM-wise is Gavin Prout, who was an assistant coach last season and seasons before. He's the new GM of this squad. He's replacing Brad MacArthur, who stepped away in the offseason from the team. And the new head coach is Joel Johnson. He's just off the end of your screen there on the left side at the bottom left, just off your screen. He's coming in, taking over from Jason Crosby, who was here for a number of years beforehand. Jason Crosby, after last season, after losing in round 1, said to the team he's going to step away from the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, not because he doesn't love the sport and love the game, it's because he wants to spend more time with his family, and he has been doing so, like I've been seeing on Instagram, spending more time with his family and his kids' kind of lacrosse journey in that one. So the changes are really behind the bench for this Brooklyn team, and we'll see how those veterans returning on the floor kind of work with the coaching staff and solidify themselves as a bigger core moving forward this year and in years to come.
Yeah, Gavin Prout, like you mentioned, stepping off the bench into that GM role as a quick shot right off the start of period number 2 for Tanner Cook. Brooklyn with a 3-1 lead had the opening possession, and Cook trying to put some pressure on in the O-zone as Brooklyn takes this one away. Wagner knocked it free. And that loose ball will be scooped up by Justin Robinson. His shot goes just wide and will fly into row number 4, and it will stay Brooklyn ball. So Owen Sound had a chance to bring it up the floor, but some good pressure by Tanner Cook there. And Brooklyn gets another offensive possession. Pass to the center of the floor, and this one immediately goes the other way as we mentioned that. As Noah Millsap with an assist in this one will set up and let Dante Koulis come off the bench. Koulis drops it back for Jackson Webster, and going to get too many men here against Owen Sound. So Owen Sound, right before the third Brooklyn goal, had clamored for a too many men call.
Yeah, and I think it was Jake McNabb that was on the floor looking at his feet, trying to say, look where I'm standing, but then maybe realizing he's outside the white line. It's hard to see from our camera angle and our vantage point and where our cameras are situated, but there is a white line or a white box in front of the benches, which is used to determine whether a player's off or on the floor. And that's what the officials use to make those calls, and that's where Jake McNabb looked down and realized where his feet were at and said, okay, maybe I got to serve 2 minutes or less for that.
So Brooklyn on the power play. As Kiernan sets up, Shanks steps in, shoots, stopped by Martin, he scores! Another one that just gets through Caleb Martin. And this one comes just 14 seconds into the power play. Brooklyn takes a 4-1 lead.
Well, just like that, there's the first power play goal of the season for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. And Caleb Martin on that shot kind of overplayed it a little bit. You see the ball come down low here. Ball works its way Kiernan down to Shanks. And he throws it, and then right there, hard to tell when the ball went in because the sign came up after Caleb Martin fell into his own net. So hard to know if the ball was in first or if Caleb Martin lost his footing, and that's what caused the ball to go in the net. Nonetheless, it's a 4-1 Brooklyn lead.
And they have possession again, looking for more. Brooklyn setting up in the offensive end. Shanks flips it into the middle, pass across, and unable to put it home was Luke Keenan as that extra pass from Brady Kiernan unable to connect as he was walking in all alone in front of the net. So Cook getting a secondary assist, Connor Kiernan getting the primary assist on the Shanks goal as that shot just misses the Brooklyn net, but Owen Sound gets the rebound, a chance in front, they missed again. Justin Robinson knocking that ball free, and Brooklyn sends it down the floor. A chance in transition, and they score! Keenan Cook, 5-1 Brooklyn.
And it was a great play up the floor. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but coming from mid-floor as he was heading off, the defender threw the ball up the floor to Cook, who grabbed it and threw it in behind Caleb Martin. One hot pass up to Cook, and that's the fifth goal for Brooklyn. 5-1 lead as we take a look here. Watch this kind of loop lob feed there up the floor from Tchaikovsky that led to that Brooklyn goal.
Tanner Cook with another chance right off the draw. Brooklyn dialing up the pressure here with 2 goals already in the first 2.5 minutes of period number 2. Waters shoots, and that gets punched aside by Martin. And Owen Sound picks it up and sends it up in transition. Chance here for Owen Sound, but that shot just misses again. That's 3 that they've just missed the net, and Cook in front. And that's too many men on the floor against Brooklyn. So this time Owen Sound gets the call. No arguing that one. There was 6 guys on the floor. And Owen Sound going into their third power play of the game.
Well, they're going to need to do something here. Brooklyn's really running the floor, not just with the ball, but also without the ball. Like we saw there, they got called for too many men. It looks like Tanner Cook's going to go and serve this one. Yeah, Owen Sound now with their third opportunity here.
I don't know if that was the choice that head coach Joel Johnson wanted. He was trying to send Luke Keenan off the bench. But Tanner Cook said, hey, I'll take the 2-minute break as Owen Sound shoots. That goes wide again. This one goes off his seat and out of play. And they're going to say no deflection, and it's going to be Brooklyn ball. Owen Sound's bench up in arms about this. But the referees having the conversation, and they will say it's Brooklyn ball. So Brooklyn, shorthanded, takes over just 20 seconds into the Owen Sound power play. They have a 5-1 lead, but just trying to kill time here on the too many men call against Brooklyn. Wesley, 10 to shoot. He'll work it cross floor. That pass gets picked off, and away goes Owen Sound in transition. A good chance here, but nobody helping as they go off for a change to set up the power play. Niles Sear could have gotten a quick chance in front, but Owen Sound elects to slow it down, and Tanner Buck sets up top. Now quick passing is McNabb. Cross floor, that one just missed, and Webster has to pick it up in the corner against Byrne. Battle for the loose ball. Buck plays it up top, behind the back. That gets stopped by Higgins. That's his first save of the period. They might not even give him credit for that one as it came after the shot clock ended. Brooklyn takes over. 12-second difference between shot clock and penalty clock here. So Owen Sound might have transition on the power play, but might not get an opportunity to set up in the offensive zone on the man advantage. With this power play winding down for Owen Sound. Kyle Waters' pass gets picked off. And here is that transition from Tyler Hall. 10 seconds to go in the man advantage for Owen Sound as Buck off the bench. Buck works this one off. Cross-floor passing. McNabb shoots. Stopped by Higgins and into the protective meshing and out of play. And we're back to 5-on-5. So Brooklyn's penalty kill goes 3 for 3 to start the game. Koulis works it off. McNabb shoots it just wide on the near post. Kept in by Webster. Here's Tanner Buck. Spinning away from pressure and drops this one off. Webster through traffic misses on the far post. McNabb picks it up again. Behind the back pass in front. Bounces off to the near boards. And Owen Sound sends it. They were given a shot clock reset, but it wasn't relayed to the players on the floor, and they sent it out of play deep in the Brooklyn zone as Dawson Theed works it on for Wesley. Now here's Shanks up top. Kiernan steps in, shoots, it got through and squeaked wide. And we are going to get a penalty call here against Owen Sound, so Brooklyn's going to go to the power play. Rob Clofer is going to go off to the penalty box for the North Stars. And 5.5 minutes into period 2 with a 5-1 lead and 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Brooklyn back on the power play.
And we'll see if they can go 2 for 2 on the power play here in this young season. The first one came in the opening less than 20 seconds of the power play. See if they try that again.
Kiernan works it off. Shanks, quick shot, gets blocked in front. Rebound picked up by Waters. Connor Kiernan gets it back from Cook. Off to Shanks, back to Kiernan. Down low, Waters. Fake the shot, back to Kiernan. Now Cook shoots, that gets stopped. Caleb Martin with a big stop and flips it up the floor quickly. Jake Gasparetti all by himself shoots, kicked out by Higgins. Got the left pad on it. Brooklyn quickly up the floor again. Austin Shanks. Dawson Theed. Tanner Cook, Connor Kiernan. Back to Cook. Cross floor for Waters. That gets picked off, but the ball sprung free by Kyle Waters. Now back up top, Theed. Shanks steps in, stopped by Martin. Bouncing ball in front. Picked up by Tyler Hall. Lone goal scorer here for Owen Sound in this one. 1 minute to go in the Brooklyn power play as Owen Sound goes up the floor in transition. Pass in front of the net. Just misses again. Now this ball bouncing back into the Owen Sound zone. That'll be over and back against Owen Sound. 45 seconds to go in the power play. 16-second differential between shot clock and penalty clock. Now Shanks in front, and that gets blocked, and Hall goes away in transition. Tyler Hall looking to get something more going offensively here. Can kill off some valuable time on the penalty kill as Wagner forced to pass, and Owen Sound still holding on to the ball in the offensive end. Tanner Buck, cross floor, that shot gets stopped by Higgins. It's Greg Elijah Brown with the shot for Owen Sound. Flips this one back to the Owen Sound bench, and it goes into the North Stars bench. Just 2 seconds to go in the Brooklyn power play as Justin Robinson brings it up the floor. And they're going to stop play, so Brooklyn will get the restart back up top. Brooklyn 1 for 3 on the power play in this one, holding on to that 5-1 lead. They're outscoring Owen Sound 2-0 in period 2. Now a slip play. Kiernan steps in and scores. Dropped his shoulder and drove the net. Brady Kiernan puts it home and makes it 6-1 Brooklyn.
And a great move to get around the defender. Just burned him on the outside to cut in towards Caleb Martin and get his first goal of the season. Brady Kiernan did. I believe it was Kranz, the defender, as we see him here on the far side. Actually burned Sear on that, and Brady Kiernan gets his first goal of the season on that one. Just cutting around the defender one-on-one and then beating Caleb Martin.
It's a half screen, which drew the defender the other way, able to slip the shoulder down and drive in behind him. And they had 3 goals in period 1. They have 3 in period 2. We still have just under 12 minutes to go in this middle frame, and Brooklyn starting to fire on all cylinders here. Owen Sound looking for a response. Remember, they had a 3-1 lead against Six Nations in game 1. They came out hot and heavy, as that's a big check on the end boards from Justin Robinson. And an Owen Sound player still down on the floor, getting up to his feet. Noah Millsap was in behind the Brooklyn net and got crunched into the end boards. So it'll stay Owen Sound ball here. 11:35 to go in period number 2. 6-1 Brooklyn leading this one. That ball springs free. And Matt Hosak trying to pick it up and sends it back into Owen Sound territory. But Reed gets it back for the North Stars. Now Reed driving in, drops this one back. And that pass gets picked off by Owen Sound. Jackson Reed shot gets stopped by Higgins again, and Brooklyn will go back up the floor. Brooklyn with possession at the offensive end. Screen by Robinson as Wesley up top works it off to the far boards. And Brady Kiernan works it back to Wesley. Wesley steps in, shoots, it goes just wide on the near post, and that'll be a shot clock violation against Brooklyn.
Defenders for Owen Sound that time doing a bit of a better job there, being proactive defensively, getting physical and keeping the ball and the players to the outside of the floor, not allowing them to cut through the middle as easily.
Owen Sound with it again, trying to get some sort of response. Brooklyn scored 5 unanswered in this one. Tanner Buck thrown off the ball in the near corner, and away goes Brooklyn from their own end. Dylan Robinson into the offensive zone. Waiting for help off the bench, he finds Kyle Waters. Getting checked by Hall. Waters slipped but gets back up to his feet. He goes up top, Luke Keenan. Fires off for Shanks. His shot goes wide off the end boards, and that'll be over and back against Brooklyn. Under 10 minutes to play in period 2.
Still lots of time left, and here's a chance now for Owen Sound off that over and back here to set up offensively and chip away, chip away.
But you got to get one to start. Pass cross floor and a chance in front of the net, but McNabb couldn't fire his shot away. Jake McNabb off with Tanner Buck. Now it's McNabb again underneath. Shot stopped. Rebound stopped again by Higgins. And Brooklyn finds the loose ball. Some athleticism in the crease by the Brooklyn goaltender. And a chance in transition. Pass in front of the net for Wesley is a big hit thrown on Keenan Cook in front. And now it's Tanner Cook. Plays it down low, and Wesley off to Connor Kiernan, and now a penalty coming up here to Tanner Cook. So that'll draw a crowd in the Owen Sound zone.
I think it all stems when Kranz stood up his man there defensively, and I think it was an accidental, what we heard up in the stands were almost two helmets colliding initially, and I think it was a misunderstanding, thinking something was maybe a bit dirty when it wasn't. It was a bit accidental, which led to this little scrum that's leading to these this Tanner Cook and Gustafson heading off there
So Tanner Cook in the box. Mitch Gustafson off in the box as well. We'll stay 5-on-5 on the offsetting penalties. A tick under 9 minutes to go in period 2. Brooklyn with a 6-1 lead. And with the ball at the offensive end of the floor, here's Shanks. Flips that one off to the far boards. Theed. Cross floor, Wesley. Steps into the middle, doesn't have a shooting lane, spins back. And looks up top for Kiernan. Now to the far side, quick shot, gets blocked in front. Good job by Owen Sound, and they're back up the floor with speed. Now here's a chance in transition for Wyatt Barfoot, but he gets turned away by Higgins, and away goes Brooklyn again, fresh off the bench. Here's Kiernan, scores! A chance at one end, a big save by Higgins, turns in to Brady Kiernan, second of the game, and it's 7-1 Brooklyn.
And it goes off the athletic save on one end of the floor from Zach Higgins. Gets it to the defender, and then coming right off the bench, the first offensive player on the floor for Brooklyn was Brady Kiernan. And he just sprints towards the center of the floor looking for that long pass, which he got. And he kind of fooled Caleb Martin there, who kind of cheated and went down low. And Brady Kiernan was easily able to beat him up top. Didn't really have to do much to get that ball upstairs and past the goaltender for his second goal of the season. And now it's 7-1 Brooklyn.
Get a guy who's so offensively skilled like Brady Kiernan. We've seen him score a lot. And he's able to throw that one home. Moving screen on Kyle Waters. Throwing his man down to the floor, and Owen Sound tries to capitalize in transition. Here's Buck, he scores! The captain buries in transition, and Owen Sound stops the run.
Well, they're taking a page out of Brooklyn's book on that transition, throwing it all the way up the floor for that odd man rush, and right off the bench, Tanner Buck, the captain for these North Stars, is able to get that pass and throw it right behind and past the goaltender, Zach Higgins, before he's able to get to that near post. As you see it here, the long pass, and there's Buck on the near side, just shoots that before Higgins has any chance to make the stop on that one. Not much he can do on that play. Great play there by Owen Sound here to get their second goal of the game.
Look how quick that came off his stick on the cross-floor pass. As Owen Sound with another chance in transition, gets stopped again by Higgins. Another shot, stopped by Higgins again with Reed on the doorstep. And that one pulled off the goal line by Matt Hosak.
That's what happens when guys that maybe don't know each other, a goaltender and defenseman, go for the ball together to pull it into their nets and nearly pull it into their own net.
Dawson Theed just rang iron at the offensive end of the floor. Shanks picks up the rebound, and Theed with it again. Drops this one off for Luke Keenan, but couldn't find it, and a penalty coming up here to Owen Sound for high sticking. So off goes Wyatt Barfoot, and on comes the Brooklyn power play, who's 1 for 3 in the game.
And that was Kyle Waters there, the big body in front, going for the ball up in the air, and he got the stick up in the chops to draw that penalty. So, yeah, we'll have our third look at the power play here for Brooklyn. Successful first time around, unsuccessful the second time. And Connor Kieran is going to start with it.
Shanks works it back to Kiernan. Dawson Theed underneath. That shot turned away by Martin. And now a race for the ball will be picked up by Owen Sound, and they're away in transition shorthanded. Tyler Hall. He was the lone goal scorer for Owen Sound up until Tanner Buck was able to score just moments ago. Also gives Noah Millsap 2 assists in the game for Owen Sound. As time winding out here on the shot clock, and the cross-floor pass picked off by Brady Kiernan. 1:20 to go in the power play for Brooklyn. Shade over 6.5 to go in period number 2. 7-2 lead for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club over the Owen Sound North Stars. Brooklyn's first game of this 2024 Major Series lacrosse season. Kiernan, Shanks, cross-floor. Theed couldn't fire that one. It went off the top of his cradle and into the far corner. Brooklyn picks up again. Here's Shanks. Late in the shot clock, hit the post. And that rebound gets picked up by Rob Clofer. Clofer in transition. will slow down as he gets to the offensive end of the floor. And Owen Sound setting up here. Jackson Reed gets a screen from Clofer. And now a shot gets through. Brody Kaskanet. A short-handed marker. And back-to-back goals for Owen Sound have them back within 4.
Well, there it is. We mentioned it. Chip away. And that one getting it on the penalty kill as well. Just goes that much further. And he almost looks surprised to see that one go in. He kind of threw it on the floor, a little bank shot off the floor. Ends up going past Zach Higgins, but he looked kind of surprised. Didn't look like he meant to really shoot it for goal, more just to get a shot on net.
Collision right off the draw. And it's going to be Owen Sound ball, and a quick restart is going to give the North Stars a chance in transition as McNabb gets turned away by Higgins. But Owen Sound will pick up again, and if they don't turn it over, they're going to kill off the penalty, but they turn it over immediately. Trying a little bit of foreshadowing. Didn't work that time. Shanks gets the return feed. 5 seconds to go in the power play as Kiernan into the corner for Cook. Back to Kiernan, his shot shouldered away by Martin. Back to 5-on-5 with 5:13 to go in period number 2. Pass in front for Shanks off the end boards and off the back of the Owen Sound net, and Shanks picks up the rebound. Shanks knocked off the ball but picked up by Cook. Drops this one back into the near corner for Wesley. Sean Wesley through traffic stopped. Rebound stopped again by Caleb Martin. 2 big ones there for the Owen Sound goaltender, but Brooklyn gets another offensive rebound. Cook with the screen. That shot gets through from Luke Keenan. He gets his own rebound off the end boards. And Brooklyn sets up again with 10 seconds to shoot. Kyle Waters just missed the top far corner as that rebound in front. 5 seconds to shoot. A pass in front. Shanks behind the back. Shot gets stopped. And Brooklyn is going to pick up another offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound for Brooklyn. And they'll set up again. 4:10 to go in period 2. Kyle Waters. So they'll slow it down with 10 on the shot clock. And now a penalty coming up for Owen Sound. So Brooklyn is going to take the time down. 3 to shoot. And they won't get a shot away, but they will go to the power play with 3:55 to go in period number 2 and a 7-3 lead.
And I think we might be getting a goaltending change. No, just a water break, I think. As Caleb Martin, as we take a look here at the penalty that happened, some tired defenders out there for Owen Sound led to this there, right there, that push by Millsap through Austin Shanks to the floor, which was a benefit to Shanks as well, because after that play kind of expired and Brooklyn let the shot clock run out, Shanks was bent over, had his stick on his knees, trying to catch his breath. As not only did he get thrown to the floor a few times, but he's the guy running it, running the offense for a lot of it is what it looks like here for Brooklyn. He's the guy they want to get the shot to get a look from him on net. He's already got 2 goals in this game and a plethora of other shots.
Connor Kiernan quarterbacking, and that shot gets through. Tanner Cook just 11 seconds into the power play, and it's 8-3 Brooklyn.
Well, they're able to capitalize yet again quickly off a power play. Their second power play goal of the game comes again. In the opening, just a few seconds, Kiernan fakes that pass to Shanks, then it goes down low here to Cook and just throws that underneath Caleb Martin, who wasn't quite set to face that shot. Maybe a bit fooled too, because to the play before, didn't go quite down low on the goal line, stayed a bit high at the pass, so Connor Kiernan, smart play there to kind of throw it somewhere different and give the goaltender Martin a different look at it, and it worked that time as they got their 8th goal of the game.
2 for 5 on the power play. They have given up a shorthanded one, but Brooklyn's power play starting to click here in period number 2. 15 to shoot with it again at the offensive end of the floor. And Brady Kiernan works it into the near corner for Wesley with under 10 to shoot. Pass cross floor, and that shot from Cook gets stopped by Martin, and he stepped into the crease. So it'll be Owen Sound ball with 3:10 to go in period number 2. Niles Sear will start the transition. Dante Koulis setting the screen for McNabb. McNabb into the corner. Tanner Bach shooting, just missed the top of the crossbar. Koulis picks up the rebound. Cross floor, they score. Quick response, Jackson Reed. And it's an 8-4 game with 2:47 to go in the second.
Another quick pass across the floor there. You said Jackson Reed gets that and throws it past Zach Higgins before he can get to that near post and stop the ball from going behind and just can't get across fast enough. These passes for Owen Sound, whipping across the floor. When they connect, it's working. So that shot goes wide. They get the rebound off the end boards, and that shot, or the pass right there, as Reed came up from behind the net and kind of took Higgins by surprise. I don't think he knew he was there, and able to get the 4th goal here to cut it to a 4-goal game.
Kyle Waters had a chance right off the draw, but was turned away with sticks in the lane. But we go back to the start of this period. There's another chance, and they score back to back. And Owen Sound back within 3. It's an 8-5 game. This time it's Jake McNabb getting on the board. His first point of the night.
Well, we see this a lot in the MSL. Can really rack up in bunches these goals. You're never really out of it. Even in the third period, if you've got a big lead, things can change quickly. So we're back here to a 3-goal game. And as we've seen here, and here's the latest example, 2 goals back-to-back within a minute of each other. Brooklyn just a bit, I don't want to say lazy on that play, but a lot of guys just standing there, not seeing what's going on. Even though the ball's in the defensive zone, they're not challenging the ball carrier or anything like that. And just cutting towards the net for the goal there was Owen Sound.
Ball flipped up into the Brooklyn bench, so it'll be Brooklyn ball with 2:10 to go in period number 2. 8-5 lead for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. At one point, it was 7-2. As Shanks fires one wide, it bounces off the end boards into the crowd and back onto the floor. And Owen Sound's bench not happy that that's going to stay with Brooklyn. And now Kiernan arguing his case. He got thrown down to the floor, but it's going to be Owen Sound ball. Bach off the bench, and he couldn't control the pass, but they get it again. Bach, side of the net. His shot misses just high. Elijah Brown couldn't find the rebound, but Millsap checked off the ball at the penalty box, and over and back against Owen Sound will give Brooklyn back the ball with under 100 seconds to go in period 2. Here's Cook. Dropping it back for Luke Keenan. Now it's Waters into the corner. Wesley in front. Keenan's shot stopped. Waters behind the back. He just missed on the near post. Now a big hit there by Sean Wesley. He dumped down Noah Millsap, but Owen Sound able to pick up the loose ball, go away in transition. That shot stopped by Higgins, and the rebound picked up by Brooklyn. Quick pass down the floor. Kyle Waters in front, rang the post.
And Millsap is still on the floor. He wanted to get off, and he can't. So Owen Sound's going to benefit from that on the over and back call. And they're going to dispute it here, Brooklyn is. Or the officials going to come together and talk about it.
Owen Sound was calling for it to be over and back. Brooklyn not happy with the call. The referees are going to get together and discuss this one. 56 seconds to go. 57.1 seconds to go in period number 2. 8-5 lead for Brooklyn. And you think that if...
Oh, they're saying Brooklyn ball here.
They're going to say it was not an over and back call against Brooklyn. But I think Owen Sound was hoping they could potentially do a 2-for-1 if they could get a quick one late in this second period before play starts again.
I think they'll at least take that whistle there to get some fresh legs on the floor here, as they had a couple of wounded soldiers on there.
Yeah, Millsap off on the bench as needed. He got rocked by Wesley, and Owen Sound turns it over. Here's Dawson Theed, and his shot kicked out by Martin. Rebound picked up by Owen Sound. They have a chance up the floor with 30 seconds to go in period 2. Long shot turned away by Higgins. Scoops up the rebound, and a timeout called by Joel Johnson on the Brooklyn bench. This will be more than likely the last possession of period number 2.
Yeah, they'll draw something up here. The assistant coach getting down that far end of the bench to draw it up with the offensive players on the floor for Brooklyn that they want out there. And coming to the bench, too, are the 2 goaltenders for a drink of some water.
Back and forth action, and Owen Sound, who had their back up against the wall down 7-2, all of a sudden have made a push here. When you think about early in that second period, the good chances they had that didn't even register as shots, the continuous missed nets. But you talk about the quick passing, the opportunity to create those chances, just about capitalizing at this point.
Yeah, which is what we've seen in the latter half of this second period now, is Owen Sound finally, taking their time, taking a second to look around, find an open man, and get the shot on net. As you mentioned, Jack, there were maybe, I didn't count them, but I want to say 4 or 5 rushes, one after another, where they just went up the floor. Owen Sound did, even on the penalty kill. They did get one on the penalty kill, a goal, but a number of times they just went up and didn't try to waste any clock, threw it on net, missed the net, and the ball went all the way for over and back and gave Brooklyn another chance offensively on the power play. But the second half here, they've kind of settled down. As we resume play here after the timeout, see if Brooklyn can get one before the end of the second.
Zach Higgins on the bench for Brooklyn. Shot clock off. And 15 seconds to go in period number 2, with Brooklyn up 8-5. At one point it was 7-2 for Brooklyn. 4 seconds to go. Kiernan to Cook, taken away. Owen Sound couldn't get the shot off in time. And period number 2 will come to an end. So Brooklyn stormed out to a massive lead here in the second period. But Owen Sound with a late push and down by 3, a manageable deficit heading into the third and final frame here in Brooklyn on this Wednesday night.
Well, they've already chipped out a bigger lead than a 3-goal lead in this game here, so they've done it once. They can do it again, as they have 20 minutes, Owen Sound does, to try to tie it up and force a little extra lacrosse here in Whitby for the first game of the season for Brooklyn, second for Owen Sound.
Both teams are looking for their first win of the season. Owen Sound 0-1 on the year after their loss to Six Nations 9 days ago. Brooklyn playing their first game of the season, up 8-5 through 40 minutes of play. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse on RogersTV.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
The best in the world. His ability is second to none. Dustin Poirier. This is who I am. I'm a fighter at heart. I'll never quit it, dude. Let's go. What a fight. Fireworks are guaranteed. Both capable of ending a fight in dramatic fashion. They will not be able to keep the roof on this place.
I'm sure right now a lot of you feel like you aren't able to be who you truly are.
What's most important, more important than everybody else knowing who you are, is that you know who you are.
As a young person, time moves slower for you. And just know that things will get better.
It Gets Better Canada is a registered Canadian charity with a focus on uplifting our queer youth through the power of digital storytelling.
As a Two-Spirit person, I use they, them pronouns, but that's not the case for every Two-Spirit person.
There are so many voices out there that we didn't have 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
No matter what your mind tells you, you really are perfect the way you are, so stop beating yourself up so much.
I'm
I'm gonna be a boy in a dress, because why not?
Your identity is explosive.
We all have our unique journeys, but one thing that connects us all is the desire to be happy, the desire to celebrate being our authentic selves.
Welcome back inside the Iroquois Park Sports Center as the Brooklin Lacrosse Club with an 8-5 lead through 40 minutes of play. Jack Moore, Andrew Osmond along with you at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. And that second period started to go Brooklyn's way, Andrew, but then Owen Sound started to get a push, and it looks like we're going to have an exciting finish here.
We will have an exciting third period here. We've seen it in the MSL. Teams can come from behind at any moment, and both sides tonight have been able to get goals back to back to back pretty quickly, one after another, and that's what Owen Sound did. They started chipping away, and we got a 3-goal game heading into the third period thanks to Owen Sound's effort in the second half of that second period.
That's the best part about lacrosse. You're never out of it until the final horn goes. We've got 20 minutes to play, so let's take a look at those second period highlights, and the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club getting out early with the goals in period number 2.
Yeah, they did, and it was a guy that we've seen take a lot of the shots and work a lot of the offense around. That's Austin Shanks, and again on that one, unsure if Caleb Martin fell in with the ball on the net. Nonetheless, Brooklyn's going to take it regardless, and then up the floor, Keenan Cook has taken that pass and making no mistake, and a great cut there by Brady Kiernan for his first of 2 on tonight and in the season as well. And then back on the other floor, we've seen that a couple of times. That was the first time a cross-floor pass worked for Owen Sound. Tanner Buck that time gets it in the net. And then right back, after Brady Kiernan got one, it's Brody Cascanet capitalizing on a bit of a bank shot off the floor that I think fooled him as well to give Owen Sound yet another one. Then Tanner Cook working it there on the power play down low, which gave another extended lead, 5-3, I believe, or 8-3, I believe, at that time. But then it was coming back-to-back goals for Owen Sound. Jackson Reed gets that first one, and then it's Jake McNabb right there capitalizing to get the 5th goal of the game for Owen Sound, and that's where we sit, 8-5 after the 2 periods of play.
Yeah, and Brooklyn really, we talked about the push they carried at the end of period number 1, early into period number 2, but then that pushback from Owen Sound. How do you manage that if you're Brooklyn going into this third period here where they're probably going to come out hot and heavy?
Well, what we've seen work really for Brooklyn in this one is moving up the floor in transition pretty quickly, catching Owen Sound napping a couple of times. Maybe Owen Sound's understanding that a little bit and staying back on the floor and not getting caught off guard a little bit. So if you're Brooklyn, you're in the locker room right now, saying, well, let's just keep doing what we're doing. The couple chances that have worked for Owen Sound have been off defensive miscues. It's not the offensive side of the floor, really the defensive end. And, Owen Sound playing Brooklyn's game a little bit, going in transition up the floor to take advantage of those odd man rushes. A couple of those goals at the end of the period were those odd man rushes going up the floor, rushing without setting up any offensive play. So for Brooklyn, you're really just saying, let's keep going. We got that 8-5 lead. We've done something right to have the lead here going into the third period. But for Owen Sound on the other side, it's maybe it is rushing up the floor. That is working, really getting the ball across. We talked about that in the first intermission for Owen Sound. Not able to connect on those cross-floor passes. It was working there in that second period, and we saw a couple of goals because of that.
Dawson Theed has 3 assists. Brady Kiernan, 2 goals and an assist. So Brooklyn getting some offense from their big players in this one. Austin Shanks with 2 goals as well. Noah Millsap has 3 assists here for Owen Sound here tonight. Tanner Buck has been a big piece offensively as well for the North Stars. What does Owen Sound have to do to get this all the way back here in the third period?
Well, without sounding kind of redundant, it's get more goals, or the obvious there is they got to score, and they're going to have to come out quick. We've seen Brooklyn able to come out quick in periods, so they're going to have to see if that happens again with Brooklyn and just counter that. Can't really allow any more chances, any of those odd man rushes, so stay solid defensively if you're Owen Sound and work it up the floor. Maybe try to catch Brooklyn sleeping a little bit on transition, like they worked on that in the second period there a little bit. So for Owen Sound and the North Stars, it's work on that. Stay solid defensively, can't give up more. Don't give up those odd man rushes, but take advantage of them when you have them offensively and capitalize and get the shots on net. I think that's the other big one. We saw Owen Sound really giving up possession just by throwing the ball on net, going off the end boards, and then causing that over and back and giving Brooklyn the ball back. This time it's being smart with those shots and getting them on net, and then following up. If you can get those rebounds and, extend that offensive zone time, wear down the defense that Brooklyn's done a few times against Owen Sound, you might be looking a bit better if you're the North Stars going into that third period if you play that way.
Goaltending's always going to play a big factor in these games as well. Zach Higgins has had a great game so far for Brooklyn, trying to carry that into period number 3, and Caleb Martin has a tough task here trying to slow down this really good Brooklyn offense into the third period and try and mitigate it as much as possible to give his team an opportunity to get a win here tonight. They're looking for their first win of the season after losing 15-4 in game number 1 against the Six Nations Chiefs. That was back 9 days ago. These two teams will play again on Saturday at the Bayshore in Owen Sound, but they've got 20 minutes to go with Brooklyn leading 8-5 through 40 minutes of play. Your third period is next. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse on Rogers TV.
Anything at all. He's that strong.
Joe Schuster, will you stop it or you'll miss your train? Now help me find number 5.
Strong, but by day he's a mild-mannered reporter. Glasses, a secret identity.
Honestly, you Canadian kids.
He'd be in this cape.
A what?
A cape. Wearing these blue tights.
A hero in tights, really. Here it is.
Listen, Lois, this guy is faster than anything, I swear.
If you're not fast, you're gonna miss your train.
That's it. A bullet. He's faster. No, he's faster than a speeding bullet.
Come on, get on it. No one's gonna read a comic strip about a strong man in tights, Joe. It'll never fly.
Fly, no. But he can leap over tall buildings. Oh, wow, yeah.
See what your cousin Frank says in Toronto.
Oh, wait, Lois. I've got something for you. Here, take it. It's a gift. You never know. It might be worth something someday. Is he great or what? Bye-bye, Lois.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Wasting no time getting back into action here for period number 3. 8-5, Brooklyn leading Owen Sound. And Shanks with a chance in front of the net. He takes the legs out from under Caleb Martin. And Owen Sound doesn't like that.
Oh,
and the referee, who was trying to step in between Millsap and Shanks, getting the worst of it. So we're just 14 seconds in, and already some chaos ensuing back in the Owen Sound zone.
Taking another look at that, it was Austin Shanks getting in tight to the net, and Owen Sound didn't like how close he got to the goaltender, but it was Caleb Martin that kind of spun and stuck his foot out a little bit, but nonetheless, Owen Sound was taking a bit of exception to that, and in the process, got the official, I think with a Aaron stick up in the face there, but he's okay. He's giving a thumbs up to the North Stars bench to say he's good to go, and they'll resume play here in just a couple seconds.
So 8-5, Brooklyn leading Owen Sound, 20 seconds into period number 3. Owen Sound getting the last 2 goals of period number 2 to make this a 3-goal game. Can they get 3 straight? And Jackson Reed works it off for McNabb. Gets the screen as pass goes into the corner. And a shot from up top late in the shot clock goes wide and picked up by Matt Hosak, who brings it up the floor. Sean Wesley Setting up offensively for Brooklyn as they get their change of transition players. And that one goes into the Owen Sound bench and out of play, so an unforced error there by Brooklyn will give Owen Sound back the ball. Jordan Kaskanet being watched by Liam Osborne as Dante Koulas works it up top. That shot gets turned away by Higgins. Good chance there for Brody Kaskanet, who has one of the Owen Sound goals tonight. Now a transition play for Dylan Robinson, and he couldn't find the loose ball. He was calling for a penalty as he felt like he got high-sticked. He'll run off to the bench. And Owen Sound back up the floor the other way. Tanner Buck tried to feed this one in front, taken away by Justin Robinson. And Brooklyn back the other way. Trying to mitigate these Owen Sound chances. This next goal will be a big one. Can Owen Sound bring it within 2? Can Brooklyn extend the lead back to 4? Shanks, he fires a shot that goes wide. Cook picks it up off the end boards. Gets it back from Keenan. Tanner Cook drives the net, and he scores! Brooklyn regains the 4-goal lead, 9-5, as we're 2 minutes, 7 seconds into the third period.
And doing so there, Tanner Cook with just 1 second left on the shot clock, burns the defender on the outside, cuts into the middle. As Caleb Martin's talking to the official, maybe a toe in the crease. I don't think so. He looked clear there. Tanner Cook was able to get that one in before the shot clock expired to make it 9-5 here early on in the third period.
So Tanner Cook gets his second of the game. He also has an assist in this one. So 2 goals and an assist in this one. Is a big hit by Cook right in front of the Owen Sound bench. And then that hit by Cole Watkinson sprung the door free. And it's going to be Brooklyn ball here as Owen Sound went into their own bench. And Connor Kiernan is going to start. Now Owen Sound up in arms on the bench. And they're just going to make Wesley start from the side instead of up top in the middle. Cook into the middle. Makes it count. Doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. Tanner Cook, hat-trick goal. And it's 10-5 Brooklyn.
And that's what we were talking about it with Owen Sound. You got to stay solid defensively to start that period, to give yourself a shot. So far unable to do so, and Brooklyn capitalizing with 2 quick ones here, both Tanner Cook. The first one was a nice cut to the net. This one, though, he cuts to the middle and just slings it right from the top there in the center of the floor and beats Caleb Martin for his 3rd goal of the game. And now Brooklyn has doubled up the Owen Sound North Stars.
Talked about how important the start to the third period was going to be. 2.5 minutes in to the third period. Brooklyn with 2 goals to take a 5-goal lead on Owen Sound, but lots of time here for the North Stars if they can go on a run. Here's a pass in front of the net that goes into the far corner, and it gets picked up by Liam Osborne, who has some speed and will take it away in transition. Here's Wagner going to the net. Now a pass in front. Keenan gets turned away by Martin. Transition chance here for Owen Sound as they're back up the floor. Jackson Webster tried to go cross floor. Justin Robinson knocked it down, and Higgins will play that one off and up the floor for Hosack.
Great play there by Justin Robinson. He legitimately came right off the bench, cut to the slot, and blocked that pass, and now Brooklyn's right back up the floor.
Kyle Waters finds Tanner Cook. 4-point night already for Cook. 3 goals and an assist in this 10-5 lead for Brooklyn. Owen Sound gets over center floor and will set up offensively as Greg Elijah Brown with an assist in this one. Gets it off. Tyler Hall has the first goal of the game. Box shoots. That goes wide. Justin Robinson picks up the rebound, and away goes Brooklyn in transition. Robinson works that one off. That shot gets blocked into the protective meshing and out of play, so it'll stay Brooklyn ball. And that was a whole line of transition players for Brooklyn. So now on the restart, they'll be able to set up in the far corner with what's essentially their top unit here, with Connor Kiernan, Kyle Waters, Tanner Cook with it now up top. His shot whistles wide off the far post, over and back, and it's Owen Sound ball. Tanner Cook just hungry for more.
Yeah, three's not enough.
Dante Koulis will get the restart for Owen Sound in Brooklyn territory. Webster spins away from the defender, works it up top. That shot gets stopped by Higgins. And the rebound, Wagner battling for the loose ball. It rolls free, and Byrne can't move it forward. There's a big hit there by Keenan Cook to knock it free, and Wagner will bring it up the floor for Brooklyn. Wagner leaves this one off for Wesley. Sean Wesley works it off. Brady Kiernan gets it back up top. Cook, 9 seconds to shoot. Here is Wesley into that far corner. Now here's Cook going to the net. Goes off his stick into the corner and off to the end boards. That'll be a shot clock violation against Brooklyn. And Owen Sound ball as we're just over 5 minutes gone in period number 3. Brooklyn dialing up the heat defensively here, trying to spring a ball loose as this one rolls free, and it's picked up by Dylan Robinson. In transition, 3-on-2 chance here. Liam Osborne drops it back. Robinson scores! Dylan Robinson gets his first of the season. The 2024 NLL champion on the board, and it's 11-5 for Brooklyn.
Well, working that man advantage up the floor, looked to be a 2-on-1, then a 3-on-2, and then almost a 3-on-3 at the end of it. But Brooklyn, smart moving the ball around to the open man, and it was Dylan Robinson on the near side, down low, able to beat Caleb Martin for the 11th Brooklyn goal here tonight.
5.5 minutes gone in period number 3, and Brooklyn has the first 3 goals of this third period. Look at the first 3 goals of each period in this game. Brooklyn has 8 of them. They had the first 3 goals in period number 2. They have the first 3 goals in period number 3. They had 2 of the 3 in period number 1. So those starts right off the start of the period, huge for Brooklyn. Owen Sound trying to get something going. 6 minutes gone into period number 2. Here's Tanner Buck, who gets stopped by Higgins. Goes into the protective meshing. Out of play, Owen Sound gets a fresh shot clock. McNabb setting up. Here's Buck off the far boards into the middle. His shot gets stopped. Spins back off the goal line again. Higgins has got a couple of those.
If there's a Brooklyn bounce, that's the Brooklyn bounce right there.
That one went over his shoulder behind him and then spun back into the middle of the crease where he got some help from his defender. Brady Kiernan ripped a shot that just missed the crossbar.
The shots don't get much faster than that.
Yeah. So Owen Sound will get the over and back restart in the far corner in the Brooklyn zone. Cascanet with a goal in this one. He got the short-handed marker, turns it over. Justin Robinson feeds it ahead. Liam Osborne and Dylan Robinson in transition. Robinson had the last one. His shot goes wide on the near post and bounces into the Owen Sound bench and out of play. It'll stay Brooklyn ball here. They'll get their top unit on the floor. Luke Keenan, Connor Kiernan, Austin Shanks, Sean Wesley, and Tanner Cook. Shanks steps in and scores. Austin Shanks again. That's his third of the night. And Brooklyn takes a 12-5 lead.
And Brooklyn not letting up here. Came into the period with 8. Have not allowed a goal since and have just scored since this one. Austin Shanks, who's been looking for his third goal of the night for quite some time, finally gets it there after a couple of fakes and beating the defender. And we're just going to have a little water break here for the two goaltenders. As we approach 13 minutes left here in the third period. Yep, 12-5 Brooklyn. Just 5 for Owen Sound. Again, they are missing Josh Rosa, which has something to do with the lack of offense, but young season, it's only a 12-game season. You got to make the most of it when you can.
Well, and you look at the score in game number 1 against Six Nations, the 15-4 final. So they've been outscored 27-9 through the first 110 minutes, and make that 28 as Brooklyn gets another one. Matt Hosak, that's Austin Shanks again, his 4th of the night. But immediately off the faceoff, we get a little bit of a break here. So Owen Sound now getting outscored 28-9 in the first 2 games of the season here in Major Series Lacrosse in 2024.
And you see just here, can't cover 2 defenders at once. Cheating there a little bit was the Owen Sound defender there, and kind of left Austin Shanks when he maybe didn't need to. And that gave enough room for Shanks to receive that pass and then throw it into the back of the net for his 4th on the young season.
So Brooklyn just pouring it on. 5 unanswered to start this third period. And we wondered at the second intermission what the response was going to be from this team. Shanks plays it down low. Ball bounces back in front of the Owen Sound net. And Tyler Hall will go away in transition. Hall has McNabb, now works it to the far side, and they score. So Owen Sound gets one back. This time it's Jake Gasparetti. It's a 13-6 game with 12:18 to go in the third.
And again, on the transition, just kind of behind the defenders here. He's able to get that pass, cut on in past Austin Shanks, who's not used to being in that position on the floor in front of his own net. So a bit out of sorts there, like a fish out of water, unable to really track that offensive guy transitioning down the floor. For Gasparetti to get that goal and make it 13-6 now for Brooklyn.
So Owen Sound ends the run at 5. But a big hill to climb here, down 7. That shot from Matt Hosak gets turned away by Caleb Martin. And Owen Sound goes back the other way. Millsap works it back up top. 3 assists so far tonight for Owen Sound for Noah Millsap. Also took that big hit from Sean Wesley, but was able to use the second intermission to catch his breath and get back on the floor as Dylan Robinson works it up the floor, and Sean Wesley can't control the pass, so Owen Sound will take over again. So here goes Owen Sound back the other way. Trying to set something up. And get a response here and pull this back within a 6-goal game. McNabb shoots. That gets blocked by the helmet of Wagner. And Wagner will play it up the floor for Byrne and Osborne in transition. Mike Byrne, Liam Osborne steps away from the defender into the middle. He'll slow it down. And Brady Kiernan will reset with 15 on the shot clock here for Brooklyn and getting a full change now. Austin Shank works this one off. Keenan steps in, shoots, he scores. Luke Keenan, and Brooklyn gets another response, restores the 8-goal lead. It's 14-6 with 10.5 to go in the third period.
Yeah, still a lot of game left really here. 10.5 to go. They have that 14-6 lead. With Keenan there just faking that down low shot and taking advantage of going up high over Caleb Martin that Brooklyn's done a few times tonight, really going up high, which is a bit, unorthodox when you think of how big goaltenders are in lacrosse and those big shoulder pads that almost stretch post to post just standing up. But it's been a few times now that Brooklyn's been able to go up over top of Caleb Martin.
And they're just scoring at will at this point. Think about it. This was a 3-1 game after the first period. 14-6 midway through the third. So a lot of scoring both ways in the last little bit. But Brooklyn really pouring it on here and trying to set a tone for this season. These two teams, like we mentioned, will meet again on Saturday. And then Brooklyn will have a tough task coming home a week from tonight when they host the Six Nations Chiefs.
And Owen Sound on Saturday, that's going to be their home opener. The first time fans in Owen Sound will see Senior A lacrosse.
As they get another one right in front of the net. Jackson Webster puts that one home. It's a 14-7 game. Sorry, that's Jake McNabb.
Well, there's the 7th goal for Owen Sound, so they're able to get some on the board here, and a good screen there by Webster. To lead to that, he gets it back and will eventually get that 7th goal. Kind of that pick and roll move, if we're talking basketball terminology there, to set the pick, get the pass, go to the net, and take the shot on net and score.
So I was right the first time. Didn't have to correct myself. But Owen Sound, like you said, they'll play a home game on Saturday, 2 o'clock against Brooklyn, and then they'll be off for a week before they play the Brampton Excelsiors. That'll be a 7:30 start on June 8th at the Bayshore. So Owen Sound's playing early in. Austin Shanks gets another one right in front of the net. That's 5 on the night for him and 15 on the board for Brooklyn.
And Caleb Martin is talking with his defenseman, the assistant there, on that miscue, and you could hear the Owen Sound bench. As soon as the pass went down low to Austin Shanks, they were kind of questioning what's going on the floor. Where's the communication? Where's the coverage? You'll see it here in this replay. Austin Shanks, number 3 on the right side of your screen, just cuts to the net and is left all alone. Nobody takes him, and they feed him down low. And then he makes no mistake for that 5th goal of the game for him. And this 15th for Brooklyn. A bit of miscue there defensively for Owen Sound. I know the game's, maybe not as close as they would have liked. But Adam Jones, the head coach for Owen Sound, is not really going to be happy with not paying attention to the guy cutting towards the net. Maybe the most important guy other than the guy carrying the ball that you got to watch.
Defensive breakdowns for Owen Sound, but they score again offensively. Jackson Webster gets one back. So back and forth we go here in this third period, but Owen Sound's got to start to put them together on a run.
And stop Brooklyn as well at the same time. You got to get those stops defensively and turn those into offensive chances. They're able to do it. They've scored 8 goals in this game, and there's still plenty of time left. They don't lack the offensive threat there. They're able to do it and get it in. It's just defensively speaking, being able to turn those and get those stops and turn them into offensive chances. And when you get those, hit the net on your shots and not miss wide and cause over and backs and just hand the ball back over.
So Jackson Webster, 2 goals and an assist in this one for Owen Sound. With 2 here in the third period, his team's still down by 7. And Brooklyn trying to get another response. Connor Kiernan's going to go on a breakaway. Just missed the far post. And Brooklyn's going to reset in the offensive zone. As a penalty coming up here to Owen Sound. And now we're going to get some pushing and shoving on the far side of the floor. And we're going to get a fight here, but it's not going to last very long.
And they're still going, too, on the floor after the play. As Brooklyn stands to applaud that effort. Was it Colton Watkinson, I think, for Brooklyn, who's going to head right off?
Well, just immediately happened.
Yeah, kind of behind the play, or not behind the play, but away from the play, so we weren't able to really see.
It was Rob Clofer for Owen Sound. And so Owen Sound's going to get the initial penalty for too many men. And the two fighting majors are going to offset. And I believe that's going to be it for those two guys. So Brooklyn's going to go on the power play here. Up 15-8. So not a full fight, but we did see some gloves fly.
Yeah, weren't able to. They're right against the boards there, so they weren't able to really square up and set up for that scrap.
So Brooklyn's going to set up on the power play. And they're going to stop play here. They never actually started the game clock because nobody for Owen Sound went into the penalty box. So they'll get that set, and then Brooklyn will have 2 minutes on the power play.
It'll be Connor Kiernan to start it. Hasn't scored today, but he's got 4 assists.
He gets it back up top. Flips it behind the back for Shanks. Back to Kiernan. Now behind the back for Waters. Cook. Shanks. Kiernan. Now near side, Brady Kiernan gets stopped. Big sprawling save by Caleb Martin. So Owen Sound gets a stop early in the penalty kill, and Tanner Buck brings it into the offensive zone. He'll set a screen on Kiernan. It's that combination of trying to kill time, but you're trying to get one here if you're Owen Sound with 7.5 to go in the third. And down by 7. And that one goes through. Jake McNabb, second of the game.
And that's 2 shorthanded goals today for the Owen Sound North Stars. They've given up 2 on the power, or Brooklyn scores 2 on the power, but they were able to score 2, though, down a man. And just right there, using a couple of those screens, not sure Zach Higgins was really able to track maybe where the ball exactly was. I think he knew who had the ball, but whether or not a shot was coming, I don't think there was a warning, that a shot was coming. Gustafson here is talking to the official before the drop. Maybe about some possible watch out, he cheats in the draw, that kind of stuff.
Mike Byrne wins that one. Dylan Robinson will work it up the floor for Sean Wesley. And Austin Shanks will set up as Waters and Brady Kiernan off the bench. Cook. Now pass up top for Shanks. Here's Waters. He shoots. That goes off the crossbar. This one will bounce out into the stands on the far side of the floor. It'll stay Brooklyn ball after it deflected off the crossbar and out of play. Wesley off to Kiernan. Now here's Cook. Up top, Shanks. Now Cook stepping in, cross floor, and Wesley will pick up. Net is very much off the goal line, but gets reset by Martin. Now Cook, far side for Waters, jumps off his stick, and a loose ball pops into the crease, picked up by Caleb Martin, and he'll float it down the floor, but it gets picked off by Sean Wesley. Never had enough juice to get it all the way to Dante Koulis. Now Liam Osborne shoots. That gets turned away by Martin. As Austin Shanks resets up top. Shanks. Caleb Martin just made his 31st save of the game. 46th shot of the night for Brooklyn. Power play's coming to an end. 15 to shoot for Brooklyn. As Wesley couldn't corral it off the boards. It gets picked up by Caleb Martin. And away goes Owen Sound. Jackson Reed drops this one back. Webster with 2 in this third period. Now it's Dante Koulis driving in. Koulis stepping away from pressure. Holding, waiting, shooting, and it goes high off a deflection. Jackson Reed gets it back. Plays it into the far corner, and there was no shot clock reset, so shot clock violation goes against Brooklyn.
Brooklyn still staying strong defensively, and Joel Johnson as well here, still running with those top guys offensively. Got Kiernan's out as well. Kyle Waters, Cook. Still wanting to go with those top guys here offensively, even though it's a 15-9 lead.
Owen Sound gets a stop. Can they get a transition chance? And that gets turned away by Higgins, who makes his 27th save of the game. Now a chance for Brady Kiernan crashing in. Tried to go 5-hole on Martin. He stepped into the crease. So it's going to be Owen Sound ball back the other way. And now here's Tanner Buck. Goal and 4 assists here for the Owen Sound captain tonight. So a good personal performance offensively, but with his team down by 6 with 4:45 to go, you know there's some frustration from the leadership group as Liam Osborne gets turned away by Caleb Martin. And it will be a quick turnaround for these two teams, for Owen Sound putting this game out of their mind and trying to readjust into Saturday at home. And for Brooklyn, it's going to be, okay, how can we take this momentum and go into Owen Sound for the afternoon game on Saturday? As Owen Sound gets another one, Dante Koulis goes 5-hole. He had 3 assists and now gets his first goal of the game. And an injured Owen Sound player right in front of the Brooklyn bench will need some attention with 4:12 to go in the third period.
Yeah, can't tell who's down right now, but they took a big hit right into the boards and onto the floor from a Brooklyn defender. We'll see it here at the bottom of your screen. Looks like it's Jake McNabb that was taking this bump there and then to the floor. He goes. Still down, which leads to that goal, though, nonetheless, from Koulis to make it 15-10 now for Brooklyn. And still down is Jake McNabb, as you get a look there at Zach Higgins and Matt Hosak. Nick Chakowski coming into your screen. See them there, the 3 of them talking it up. Have another look and take a look in the bottom right corner of the screen as Jake McNabb, who's currently getting up to his feet, slowly takes this hit there and then goes to the floor, courtesy Liam Osborne.
Well, and you wonder, it looked like Dylan Robinson was getting up off the floor, and Jake McNabb can't put any pressure.
Looks like his right foot there.
Yeah, his right foot hovering over the ground. He's being helped off the floor by Koulis and Barfoot.
Taking their time there with the North Stars training staff.
McNabb with 2 goals and an assist in this one. And if that's a non-short-term injury, might be affecting his ability to play in the game on Saturday when these two teams meet again. An afternoon contest, so it's you get up, you got to go play, but for Brooklyn, the travel is going to be something to keep in mind.
Yep, get up early.
They're going to have to leave the Iroquois Park Sports Center around 8:30.
Yeah, you know more about those bus trips than I do. No, all going across Ontario for some junior hockey, so you understand exactly what those trips are like.
Well, and once you get past a certain point, there's not a lot between Brooklyn and Owen Sound to get up there.
Just a Tim's every now and then.
A lot of trees, a lot of land. It's a beautiful drive. In the winter, maybe not so much. But I'm sure on Saturday it's going to be nice for those guys on the bus.
This time of year, summer around the corner, nice weather. So, yeah, maybe a good bus drive up there.
Get some shows or movies downloaded on the iPad. You're good to go. Get a nice buck and get ready to play a game. What's a great barn there in Owen Sound. At the Bayshore, which, as you mentioned, the junior hockey aspect, home of the Owen Sound Attack. Colby Barlow, one of the elite goal scorers in the Ontario Hockey League, a Winnipeg Jets prospect. As Owen Sound is going to send this one down the floor. They have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. And a pass inside is Koulis. His backhand shot whistles off the end boards and off to the near wall. Justin Robinson knocked it free. Liam Osborne flips it up the floor for Dylan Robinson and Kiernan. Passes back in front. Dylan Robinson scores. Nice feed from Connor Kiernan, and Dylan Robinson gets his second of the game on a beautiful play. And with 2:57 to go in the third, it's 16-10 for Brooklyn.
Yeah, 16-10. Dylan Robinson's second goal of the game here as he takes this pass cutting towards the net. Tyler Hall's unable to keep up to him, leading to that. And now we sit at 16-10, and we talk about, each team in this league is only going to face each other twice in the regular season. And a few times, if you look at the schedules for some of these teams, they do have a lot of back-to-backs. So here's an example of Owen Sound and Brooklyn. The only two meetings in the regular season will be back-to-backs, which in a season where you only play each other twice, this is maybe a benefit for Owen Sound. You have the recent memory of the team. Maybe the lineups will be somewhat the same. Whereas if you face a team once earlier in the year and then once again later in the year, they could be two totally different lineups, two totally different teams, and it's tougher to play in those games. So for Owen Sound's benefit, you're going home for the home opener. A lot of energy there. You got the recent memory in Brooklyn to maybe bounce back on Saturday.
Well, you got to think for Owen Sound, too, after their game is a shot clock violation going against Brooklyn. After their game on Saturday, that's 25% of their season done. Mm-hmm. And they're going to play 3 games before 4 of the 7 teams in the league play 1 game.
Yeah.
Because they're playing Brooklyn twice off the jump, and they've played Six Nations 1 time. As that shot gets through, and Owen Sound gets one back. Right in front of the Brooklyn net. And
I think it was Cascanet with that one.
Yeah, Cascanet getting it through on Zach Higgins. So another one here for Owen Sound.
And you see barely gets in there past Zach Higgins. It hasn't even hit the back of the net yet. The ball is still bouncing on the floor in the net behind the line. But, yeah, just squeaking through Zach Higgins. So 16-11 here. If you're Owen Sound, you are happy kind of with how the third period went. Not ecstatic, obviously, but you didn't quit. You didn't bow out. You kept putting the goals up. You scored 6 goals in this period.
Ball pushed up on the far wall, and so how this is going to start for Owen Sound under 2 to go, down by 5. If they start this season 0-2, you got to think looking at their next 3 games, they're going to try and get 2 of the 3 of them to stay competitive because they go into a gauntlet stretch where they have their home and home with Peterborough, and then they play Six Nations at home. So in the course of a week, they have the Peterborough Lakers twice, and they play the defending Man Cup champion Six Nations Chiefs, who already beat them 15-4 this season. As a good chance there for Owen Sound, but Brooklyn picks up the rebound and it'll go back the other way, and it's about drowning the clock out now. 75 seconds to go in the third, and a 5-goal advantage for Brooklyn.
Yeah, and the main guys now aren't quite out for Brooklyn, taking a rest. They're probably done for the day, and we'll be ready for Saturday. As I say that, there's Brady Kiernan, so screwing up what I'm looking at.
Well, that's why you're up here and not down on the bench, right?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why I'm up here and not on the floor, let's be honest.
Under a minute to go here in the third is Owen Sound going away in transition. Sears shoots. That gets turned away by Higgins as that one rolls back into the crease. So it's going to be Owen Sound ball with 46 seconds to go in the third. Down by 5. Brooklyn's going to be happy with the result. Getting a win in game number 1 is a illegal screen there. Is going to give Brooklyn back the ball with 10-second differential between game clock and shot clock. There's going to be some stuff to clean up here for Brooklyn, some defensive miscues. Maybe try not to allow shorthanded chances, but overall the special teams playing well here tonight. Clicking on all cylinders. The offense didn't have many problems, but limiting those chances as Brooklyn will go into Owen Sound on Saturday for game number 2 on the season and really try and pick up win number 2 as we have 8 seconds to go here in the third. But then after that, it's a week from tonight at the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Will return home and have a big one in a measuring stick game against the Six Nations Chiefs. So Owen Sound will have the last restart of the game And the clock winding out here at the Iroquois Park Sports Center. The Brooklin Lacrosse Club pick up win number 1 on the season in their 2024 home opener with a 16-11 win over the Owen Sound North Stars to begin the 2024 Major Series Lacrosse campaign. Joel Johnson with his win in his head coaching debut for the Brooklin Lacrosse Club this season. And Brooklyn able to pick up their lone home game against Owen Sound this year with a win.
Yeah, great start there for Brooklyn. New coaching staff, a bit of a new lineup, a core that's coming back again this year and building on that. Owen Sound, though, getting their second game under their belts here after returning to the Major Series Lacrosse circuit in Senior A here in Ontario. And as they shake hands at center floor, they will shake hands again on Saturday upon the conclusion of that game. And that will be it between these two teams for the regular season unless something happens for playoffs, which I'm excited about the way the playoffs are formatted, especially in MSL. The first team gets that bye, hopefully leading to some competitive round 1 matchups in a 5-game series if you have that first seeded team having that bye into round 2.
Yeah, that 3 versus 4 matchup is going to be a war this year in Major Series Lacrosse. Austin Shanks, 5 goals, 2 assists. Tanner Cook, 3 goals, 3 assists. Connor Kiernan with 5 assists. And the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club win game number 1 of the 2024 Major Series Lacrosse season with a 16-11 win over the Owen Sound North Stars. For Andrew Osmond, our producer John Green, and everybody here at RogersTV Durham, I'm Jack Moore saying thank you for watching. Brooklyn hits the road to take on the Owen Sound North Stars on Saturday and will return home to take on the defending Mann Cup champion Six Nations Chiefs. Next Wednesday, you can catch the action right here. We'll be back with you all season long, 8 p.m. next Wednesday from the Iroquois Park Sports Center. Good night from Whitby.